Texas Hill Country from Dripping Springs, Texas said, what team do you believe has the best opportunity to write the script of the best storyline this year by having a successful season and it all coming together? I don't have one. I have like 3 or 4. Florida State is right at the top of my mind when I'm thinking about who could put together, who could sort of weave the tapestry of a storybook season this year. It's Mike Norvell and Florida State. If you watched what they did last year, they never lost a football game, and then they don't make the playoff, and then he's rumored for other jobs, and he signs the long-term extension. So basically, he plants his spear. He says, I'm Florida State, Tallahassee, Florida. That's where I want to be. It's where I'm going to be. And then they run it back this year with questions about all these departing players and all this lack of proven productivity on their current starting 22. If they do it this year, that's a program that's winning instead of just individual team in 2023. So you got that. You got Norvell just going middle finger to everyone. You got Florida State going middle finger to the world, kind of me included. And I would embrace it because that would be a really, really good story. Their over-under win total is 9.5 this year. They opened with Georgia Tech in Dublin, Ireland in week 0. So I think that would fit the description. I also think Iowa State would fit the description. Is there homerism here? Yes. Unquestionably, there is homerism here. But I want you to follow me for a second. So you know I'm Big 12 this year, and you know that I love Iowa State. I love everything about the program. We were up there in the last month, sat down with a lot of the staff. Love those guys. Rocco Becht is just a story that I want you to follow. The quarterback there was good last year. Think he'll be really good this year. They are extremely excited about him, but also what they're excited about is he had options to leave and did not. And I'm privy to some of those details. And it took loving Iowa State University to turn down some of those opportunities. And he did. He's well-rooted, good family structure, football family, and I think Iowa State's been written off by a lot of people. I think the talk around Matt Campbell is, oh, his window has closed, his window has passed, and it's just a fundamental misunderstanding of what Iowa State football is. Iowa State football is not win 9 or 10 games every other year or you're gone. It's not that. Iowa State football has been in the past, oh, wow, we made a bowl game? Good for us. That's been Iowa State. And so all of a sudden you got a guy now who comes along where he only wins 6 or 7 games and it's a problem. It's not a problem. That's Iowa State football. That's the way in fact, that's not the way it's always been. That's better than what it's always been. But anyway, I take Iowa State because I think anyone could win that Big 12 this year. I would also encourage you to look down the road a fair amount. It's in Fayetteville. What about, the University of Arkansas? What if Arkansas just defied everything about conventional wisdom, and Bobby Petrino walked in there, and Sam Pittman and the Hogs made a little run this year? They don't have to go to Atlanta, but what if in week 11 or week 12, we were looking at them saying, Arkansas could sneak in there as a 9 or 10 seed. Wow, they're not going to make the conference title game, but they've really overachieved this year. There were 4 wins last year. They've over doubled it, and could Arkansas be a sneaky playoff team? That would be wild. But if it happened, you know what that would mean, right? If it happened, that would mean KJ Jefferson left and they got better at quarterback. It would mean Bobby Petrino came in and they got better offensively. And if there's kind of a revival that coincides with Bobby Petrino returning to Arkansas, that is Storybook. So that qualifies. I think Notre Dame qualifies. If Notre Dame were to break the old ceiling that we talked about the other night, we talked about how there's this feeling amongst the college football public, and I know my audience, I know many of you feel this way. You feel like Notre Dame can be really good, but that's it. They can only be really good. They could never be great anymore. They can't win a national title anymore. Well, what if they, forget the national title, what if they go to the playoff this year and win 2 games? What if they do that? I think that's a really good run. Now, certainly if they win the national title, I mean, you're dealing with a superstar head coach in Marcus Freeman. You're dealing with redefining what Notre Dame football is in the modern era of college football. Oh, by the way, it's Notre Dame. So, yeah, that would qualify. And I'll give you one more. I think if Florida made a run this year, it would shock everyone. Because not only is Florida's over-under win total 5.5, not only is Billy Napier perceived to be under a lot of pressure, and I think he is, so perception's probably reality there. Not only are they probably facing the toughest schedule in the country this year, all of those things are working together, and you're going into the preseason, and it's like the talking point is already people have figured out what's going to happen this year with the Gators. Well, what if the opposite were to happen? What if they beat Miami in week 1, and then A&M comes in there 2 weeks later and they clip them, and then they go to Mississippi State and they've started 4-0. And then you look and you say, but is that hollow? Like, was Miami really that good? A&M's got a new coach. Was it really? And then they go to Neyland in a couple of weeks. And it's a dogfight in the fourth quarter. Win or lose that game, if they're playing Tennessee in week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they still got a goose egg in the loss column, Florida's already overachieved. And all of a sudden, then people start to look and kind of like Neil Brown at West Virginia last year say, well, he's not on the hot seat anymore. Well, actually, we're going to have to start whispering his name in some of the Coach of the Year conversation. That would be a storybook run. And then, of course, if Florida got in the back half of the season, not only would you have them surprising everyone, but that would mean Graham Mertz has upped his level of play even more, and he was already a really good quarterback last year. So Florida State, I could put Miami in there too. All the Florida schools could do it. Iowa State, Arkansas, Notre Dame, those are the ones that I would look at.